Yeah, it's something so funny. So do you remember the first name on the list when we were talking last week about? Well, no, you want save it for the show. Save it for the show.
Okay, I'm saying for the show. This is
For
for
the
the
show.
yeah.
Save it for the show.
Do it for the show. Do it for the likes. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, join us now as we begin a show. Everything's recording. Yep. Okay, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Wish they'd let us off station. Air up here's just recycled spacer parts.
And then you hear a
check between the sausage and the bun. This is the morning stream.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. Today is Tuesday, November 26, 2019. I'm Scott Johnson. He is Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian.
He is. Hello, Scott.
I'm having a lovely
Welcome.
tea in my Nerdtacular 2017
nice.
mug. Yeah.
Deal.
This
You
is-
know, I could go for some of that matcha right now. I should have gone matcha. I went coffee, but I should have gone matcha.
You always got to go that matcha, or is it
Always
matcha?
gotta go
I don't know what you say.
matcha.
Is it
I think it's
matcha?
matcha.
Not
I think it's
matcha. I kind of like matcha. No?
Really? Because then if you call it matcha, you can be a matcha man.
Oh, that's true. You'd be a matcha man. The only tea I drink
This
is
is
matcha man. Like that.
This is my We Got Scooters mug right here.
Oh, I like it. Yep. Look
We
at
got
us celebrating.
Scooters. Oh, let me
Hey,
hold it up again.
we're all here. We're doing it. We got a show.
We are all here.
Yeah, everybody's
Not
here.
just partially here.
Nope, everybody's here. We're going to do some stuff and do a show. Should be a fun, full, good time. We had a great pre-show. I'd like to remind people that if you're a patron of the show, you get this free chunk of audio every day that's just us being dorks. And
Oh man, and boy, was I fully capitalizing on the dorkitude
oh yeah,
today.
full dork. Went full dork today.
Yes.
Brian played a bunch of music on a thing I don't even know what it's called. What's it even called?
The omonotone.
The omonotone.
O-M-A-N-A. I'm sorry. I keep wanting to call it a monotone. It's the automatone.
Well, that would imply it plays itself, doesn't it? The tomatone?
Not automatone. O-T-A.
Like a tomaton. Like a tomaton with tone at the end instead of tone.
No, like tomato backwards.
Oh. Like,
O-T-A-M. Wow, it is kind of like if you spelled tomato with an A, tomato,
yeah, that'd be
then
tomato.
it would be spelled backwards, tomato.
Wow. That's like,
The Eno tomato is basically what this is. The Eno tomato.
yeah, that's pretty cool. But he did some pretty accurate renditions of Baby Shark and Stairway to Heaven. So that's the kind of range you get.
And a less accurate rendition of Careless Whisper.
Yeah. It's a very careless whisper. But as a result, that's a thing that you can only get because we recorded it for our patrons over at patreon.com/TMS. So you should go do that because we do that every day. You get a little bonus chunk. It's like usually, I don't know, 11 to 14 minutes of content. And today's was, well, it was special. Let's just say that. Brian, you want to, I know we already showed the chat room this, but can we get another quick look at your snow cam?
Sure can.
All right, we're going to switch to Brian's snow cam this morning, everybody. We got a lot of snow this morning, 12, 14 inches in Colorado. Got about 10 here in Salt Lake City. Oh, there it is. You can see.
My front yard.
Yeah.
So that thing you can barely see. That's a Greyhound bus in front of our house that's covered. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Tristan's Suzuki Swift.
Gotcha.
Or no, Mitsubishi Swift.
Wait, what are they called? They have a.
Mitsubishi something.
I forgot the name of that car, but I think you've told me before. Yeah.
That mailbox that you see on the left side there next to the fire hydrant.
Yeah.
That thing is 30 feet tall, and you're only able to see the top 3 or 4 feet of it.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. When the mailman comes today, the mailman's how reliable are your mail people? Your delivery, your carriers?
Our mail people do not follow the neither sleet nor snow nor wind nor rain shall stay these couriers from their appointed rounds. They
Yeah.
do not follow the credo,
It's too bad.
or the greedo for that matter. McClucky.
McClacken. I have never.
McClunky.
I didn't know about McClunky until you told me. That was new
No,
to
I
me.
didn't either. I didn't know about it until I read about that.
That is my favorite thing this week. I love it so much.
It is McClunky.
McClunky. And now when I see it online, it felt like I see it everywhere now. I just laugh because I think that's freaking
Yeah,
great.
we better get McClunky in Mandalorian. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
I want to hear. We have gotten an Ichuta,
Yeah, Ichuta.
which is the Star Wars bird, the equivalent of flipping the bird.
Yeah, it's a dirty word, right? Some kind of nasty
is.
profanity. Watch the profanity, we
It's
always
like
say.
go blank a Gundark is basically what
Yeah.
Ichuta is.
Yeah, it is nice to get. I like when they do the throwback stuff because part of what makes that show. Yeah, here we are talking about Mandalorian again. I'm going to do this one more time.
Yeah.
Part of what I like about it
yeah.
is that there's a lot of fan service and there's a lot of stuff that's, immediately Star Warsy, and so you're excited about it from that angle. But it wraps it in its own unique wrapper, like it feels like its own show. So it doesn't go too far with that stuff. It doesn't feel like too much fan service. It feels like you're just living in this world you already liked and knew. And things like Echuta and seeing different races like a Zabrakian running around or whatever is just really fun and exciting to see that stuff.
And I'm also glad they don't overdo it. Like on that same token, they could so easily like, oh look, here's Hammerhead and here's Ponda Baba with one arm hobbling around, and I'm just glad they don't overdo it. There's just enough to say, yeah, it's all connected. You feel like you're in that universe, just perfectly situated in that universe, to where you don't even give it a thought
Right.
that you're in that universe, but you don't get inundated with callbacks to every nerdy thing.
Yeah, it's nice. It's real nice. And it also feels grounded in a way that even the new trilogy doesn't. The new trilogy has like, hey, what if Stormtroopers had just a slightly sleeker kind of face design? It's like Stormtroopers, but new. But in this case, it's like, no, these are the Stormtroopers you know. They're just dirty and gross, and they don't really have a leader anymore. And,
right.
it's great.
They've lost their the Stormtrooper suit wash, right? Because that was on the second Death Star.
Yep.
And you could just basically you get on a little conveyor belt in your Stormtrooper suit.
Yep.
And it takes you through a little car washy kind of thing. and then the rebels blew it up
That's right.
in Return of the Jedi. So now they're just getting dirty and they smell like ass inside there.
Yep. And somebody said Ichuta.
Watch your profanity.
Okay. We'll watch our profanity.
Okay. Wow, jeez.
Oh, listen to that.
Oh, there it is.
I know, dude. Oh my gosh. Friday can't come.
Love that music.
Friday can't come soon enough for my next 35-minute thing. Gosh dang it, make them longer.
There's one thing though about that. Like, all right, so you look at the Disney Plus panel for Mandalorian. Let me pull it up here because I want to. Yeah, here we go. And you've got Mando walking there.
Yeah.
A couple TIE fighters flying behind him. You can see the ship, which is what the
Oh, they have a name? I didn't see the name.
Crescent. Yeah, the ship.
Oh, no, he did give it a name.
Ship.
In the beginning, he told the little fish man what the name was, didn't he? Or something.
The name is the Razor Crest.
Razor Crest, that's it.
Razor Crest.
I get those every time I'm at the bakery. I love a Razor Crest.
It sounds like, yeah, right. It sounds like the company that delivers milk here in Arvada. But somebody send me a link, by the way, to 3D print the Razor Crest.
Do it.
Totally gonna do it.
Do it.
Totally gonna do it.
Do it.
Yes.
Transparent or translucent red. Make it
No,
happen.
I don't think I'm doing. I am not impressed with the translucent. I'll talk
Really?
about that in a second.
All right.
All right, but really quickly, if you look at that panel promoting the Mandalorian, you got Mando walking there.
Yeah.
You got an IG-88 looking robot behind him,
Yeah. And then a girl. We don't know
and
yet.
then a girl.
Yeah, we don't know her yet.
And it's not a spoiler to say that we don't know who that is yet.
Nope. We haven't seen her yet. In fact, here's the dumb thing. Somebody told me that in episode 3, we finally meet her. And then I thought, ooh, exciting. Okay, well, and then I got around to watching it. She's not in this. So I don't know what they're talking about. They were making that up.
Maybe we saw her and we don't know we saw her. Like maybe, she takes off her Mandalorian helmet after making armor and
it could be.
Waves her hair.
It could be.
does a well of balsam shake.
Yeah.
And says, so much better without that helmet on.
So sick of that helmet. I've had it on for years. Yeah, I don't know. Is she in the bar, says the chat? Chat says she's in the bar. I didn't see her. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe she's in there looking around or something. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe she's,
all right, so I was going to tell
yeah.
you really quickly about so I printed, I don't have the red with me, the red translucent Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
But I printed clear, and I sent you a photo of what the clear looked like, and it looks clear. It looks
Yeah.
like it's made out of glass.
Yeah, you can see through it. It's not just translucent. It's near transparent. There's refraction, but it feels transparent.
Correct.
Yeah.
I go to I dump it in some isopropyl alcohol, give it a good wash. You're supposed to kind of do that to help cure the resin, and then you're supposed to give it some UV rays, some UV treatment to kind of harden it and make it more solid.
Right.
So from Amazon, I picked up this beauty right here. Oh, I've got the this is the rotatey thing.
Oh, the rotatey thing.
UV light.
Uh-huh.
This is the UV
It's a UV
bath
it's
that you give it.
It's a UV cave, like a little cave.
It's a UV cave,
Yeah.
and it's made for ladies to get gel nails, and then they put their hand in here, and it cures their nails. Right?
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
It's
like enamel curing that the dentist does on your enamel teeth
yes,
things.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Same idea. All right.
Do not look directly into that box.
Why? What happens?
While it's on, because it's UV light, and that's not good for your eyes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, UV rays are not good for. Right. That's why you put on the you put on the SPF 50 to stop the UV rays.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, and that's why when you're in one of those tanning beds, you have the little plastic goggles that go over your eyes.
Is there anything weirder than a naked person wearing those goggles? I think there's not. That is a weird thing to see. Like
it's a very weird thing to see. Yes.
Yeah, I don't like it. I saw a naked dude in one of these.
Like naked or just like Speedo.
Now I
Because
don't
that's
remember.
another area that I don't think you want a lot of UV rays hitting.
I think we saw him naked because he came into the gym and took off the Speedo, and that's why he was naked. But he was still
okay.
wearing
But
his
he
little
still
dots.
had the little glasses
Yeah,
on?
he's still wearing the little half ping pong balls with like Sharpie on. That look like ping
Really?
pong balls with Sharpie eyes. So he came walking in there just buck naked.
What kind of doofus would wear that outside the tanning bed?
I don't know. Doofus was the right word you used. Well done.
Yeah,
You've done it.
So would you put that in the the UV curing thing? I might have overcooked it.
Crap.
It's yellow. Like it looks like it's
A used up urinal cake.
It does look like a used up urinal cake. I'm gonna reprint it. Yeah, I'm not impressed with that. I think I overcooked it. I think I left it in there for too long. And because it heats it up too. So basically what I need to do is 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off.
Chat room says it's a sign of cheap resin. Do you think that's true?
I mean, this is Elegoo. This is like one of the major manufacturers of resin. I think it's the Mullernal Falcon. There's a joke in there. We got to work it out. We just got to massage it.
Yeah.
And there's a joke in
There's
there.
some tweaking you got to do to your material, chat. You got to work on that one.
Anyway, so now I have a what looks like it could even be glow in the dark.
What's the brand?
Elegoo.
Elegoo.
They make resin, but they also make printers.
Okay. Never heard of that name. That's a cool name.
Elegoo.
Rolls off the
I
tongue.
mean, you're buying goo from Elegoo.
Elegoo. This supposed to be like elegant, like that kind of thing? Is that
No, I don't think so. I think
Oh.
it's electric goo. No,
Electric
I don't know
goo.
what Elegoo, what it stands for.
I have no idea. All right.
So
well, there you have
anyway,
it.
so I'm not going to do the Razor Crest in transparent. I think I might go just straight ahead opaque gray because that brings out detail, and that 3D print has a lot of cool detail on it that I want to make sure comes through.
Razor Crest will make your gums bleed. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I would love to see that made. That ship is wicked. I love it. And it's also consistent with like the goofy shape of Star Wars ships in that they don't have to be all sleek and aerodynamic. There's no need. They just need to be big, bulky, dumb ships, and I love
No
that.
air in
Slave.
space.
That's why I love Slave One. Slave One's one of my favorite ships of all time because it just completely flies in the face of like, aerodynamics. Which is part of the reason I don't like the prequels, because the prequels have all these slick ships that are all aerodynamic.
Yes.
F that.
You don't need like a perfectly reflective silver ship that looks like it's flying backwards towards
Right.
Lucas.
Oh,
quite
I
honestly.
hated that Naboobian ship thing. Naboobian?
Yeah.
Nerubian. Naboobian?
No.
Not Nerubian. Nabooian.
Nabooian.
Nabooian. Naboobian?
Naboobian.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't think what it is.
I think it's Nabooian.
Nabooian, like Nubean. Okay, Nabooian.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Chad. That's what you're here for.
So. Yeah.
All right, so I got a funny thing to talk about, just a kind of brief little moment. I know I do this every year. Sure. I apologize, but Kim is in full Hallmark Channel movie mode. She is in nonstop. When it's nighttime and everything's done for the day, where's Kim? Popcorn watching this. Okay, that's what she's doing.
Excellent.
And she's loving it, and she's not going to stop until the 25th. So, watching one last night, happened to walk in there, wasn't really paying attention, but noticed one Henry Winkler on the screen. And I thought,
yeah.
Oh, all right, Henry Winkler's in this. Let's see what this is about. And here's the thing. I sat and watched, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of this tripe. And it's the same deal as usual, except in this case, it's a guy traveling through town who's an amazing artist and chef, but he's not sure how he's going to reach his goals, so he's just traveling for now. And tonight he has to sleep on the airport on the floor until his next connecting flight. But Henry Winkler flew with him and liked him so much he invited him over to his niece's house where he's spending the Christmas vacation. And so they head over to his niece's house. Now she is, of course, single and beautiful and professional, you know. And at first he's kind of like, whoa, he's like a traveling man with no focus, and she's all about focus.
Like he's a lone stallion out.
Yep.
I can't be tied down.
Yeah, nice guy, but you know her actual boyfriend is got lots of money, and he's very some professional in some business, and brings her kid. She has a kid from her previous marriage, and he brings the kid a $500 gift certificate to a toy store because he didn't know what to get the kid. So he's just kind of terrible rich guy, and so it's all being laid out for me. I just know exactly where all this is headed. I'm like, okay, here we go. Freaking the guy who's staying there, trying to just live there overnight or take a couch overnight, decides to put her freaking Christmas lights up because the neighbors don't want a dark house on Christmas. That's the other theme, is no dark houses on Christmas. Anyway, long and the short of it is, it's terrible, but Henry Winkler was great in it.
Of course. Well, Henry Winkler's great. You know, I mean, it's...
Yeah.
You know,
you're right.
You can take this is a guy who is one of, I'd say one of the 5 best things about the show Barry, because
There's so
Bill
many good
Hader's
things.
great.
Yeah.
Hank.
Hank is amazing.
NoHo Hank, what's his name?
I forget how he says
FOMO
it.
Hank.
FOMO Hank.
YOLO Hank.
I love Hank so much. Hank is the greatest character on TV. He's so good. But he's an amazing addition to that cast. He was great on Arrested Development. He was the Fonz, for heaven's sakes. Like, the guy knows his stuff. He's been around forever, and he can act. And he was totally believable in this. He plays an ex-cop from New York, had an accent I believed, and just played it up and did really well. And it was annoying that he stood out so much in this thing that was otherwise garbage. Like, that movie sucked. It was bad, but he was great. And I just want to throw that out there. And then another one queued up after that had Cliff Clavin in it. And I turned it off, or I had to leave. I couldn't do it. I got out of there. So no Cliff Clavin, no John Ratzenberger Christmas movie for me.
Yeah. Hey, well, the true story of Christmas actually originated with the Huns. Attila the Hun actually used to wear a red hat. Got mistaken for Santa.
I mean, if this was the movie, I'd stay. I would stay there the whole time and not miss a second of it, but that's not it. It was
So you remember last week we were talking about, I think somebody had pulled together a list of the most frequently used actors and actresses, and let's face it, they're all actresses, on at least on the male female differentiation. You know, males and females are both actors.
Yeah.
But anyway, but the most commonly used female actors in the Hallmark Christmas things. And do you remember who number 1 was?
What's her name? Whit. From the redhead from the Dune movie.
No, not Alicia Witt. She was up there.
Okay.
But number 1 was Danica McKellar.
Oh, okay.
Winnie Cooper from The Wonder Years.
Oh, all right. Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I have probably
forgotten
seen
about
her.
this when I was talking about Knives Out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It comes up in Knives Out about Hallmark Christmas movies and Danica McKellar.
Oh, wow. You know, I'm glad for her. Well done. You got you
So, I mean,
continued things
she's become a joke because she's so in so many of these. Apparently, it's become a joke that Ryan Johnson uses in his movies. So
there's another guy who's on all these. I feel like every time Kim watches one, the handsome hunk guy is played by someone named Luke McFarlane. Never heard of him, but he was a stage actor and then was in Brothers and Sisters. Remember that ABC show there for a bit?
Yeah. Luke.
And then he joined the Hallmark family, and man, that dude does not leave. I think it's like 8 movies in the last 2 seasons, something like that.
Oh yeah, look at that guy. I mean, basically, he's he looks like he should be a Hallmark.
Yeah, he's the Hallmark hunk.
He's the Hallmark hunk. He's a Canadian who went to Juilliard.
Yes. And then, do you know who? Oh shoot, what's her name? Crap.
Felicity Huffman.
No, somebody. Vivica K. Fox. Do you know her?
Oh, Vivica A. Fox.
A. Fox. Did I say K? I meant A.
You said K. Vivica A. Fox. Yes.
She's in. She was in one yesterday that she was watching.
Sure.
And that one took place at an island called Christmas Island. And they all went there on a giant cruise ship full of Christmas stuff, and then they went to Christmas Island, and she fell in love with the cruise director. Yeah. I
swear they really just must. They must. Oh yeah, look at this. Like you look at Luke McFarlane's television roles.
Yeah.
The Memory Book, 2014 television movie from Hallmark. 2015 Christmas Land, Tucker Barnes, television movie Hallmark. The Mistletoe Promise, television movie Hallmark. A Birthday Wish, television movie Hallmark.
Yep. Karen
Kingsbury Maggie's Christmas Miracle, where he plays Casey Cummins.
Great.
But that was a Hallmark movie and mystery.
Whoa.
A Shoe Addict's Christmas, and Just Add Romance this year is one for this year. But he's been in a Hallmark Christmas movie once a year since 2014.
Wow, that's pretty good. It's a good run. Good job, McFarlane. And here's the thing: you could just copy and paste the synopsises on those IMDb things.
Sure.
Just swap them in and out because they're all the same.
I figure they must have like four wheels that they spin, right? So it's like, all right, our main character is going to be a.
Yeah. Let's see what we get.
An ad executive. An overworked ad executive. All right.
Yeah, they're from New York, though. Always from New York. Sometimes Chicago.
From New York.
Yeah.
That's right. She's going to go back home to her family. Okay. All right. And she's going to hook up with the town butcher. Excellent. How cute.
There's only it's like Taco Bell ingredients. You just keep mixing them together and make a new Taco Bell item.
Yes.
That's amazing. Anyway, so it continues. Our house is full of cheer. And again, I support her desire to consume these things. It's fine. It's fine. Mm-hmm. You know, I watched 3 straight seasons of Jersey Shore because I hated every second of it, but for some reason I couldn't stop.
Now, we all have our guilty pleasures. Look, I watched The Bachelorette last season because
really? Did you
we
keep
wanted
up with
to watch
it?
the first episode because the first episode we always hear is just a train wreck. And when the soup was on, that would be where they pull the most clips, was from the first episode where all the bachelors pull up in their limousines and meet the bachelorette for the first time. They've got to make some impression. So they, like one guy comes out playing a ukulele, writing a song on the fly that he just made up about the girl he meets.
Yeah.
Another one has a cardboard box delivered and jumps out of it, confetti or packing material and all, and says, I'm your present, let's be our future, or some dumb thing like that.
Wow, that's fantastic.
But we couldn't stop watching it to see which of these train wrecks was actually going to make it into the station. Spoiler alert, none of the train wrecks made it into the station.
Yeah, that's how it works with these shows.
Yeah,
so that's the season where the guy went AWOL, literally went over a wall and ran off and escaped for a while. Or is that...
Tried to, and then they called him. They got him back.
Okay. Yeah. I heard a NPR or some interview with him, and it turned out all that stuff was real. He was actually pissed.
Yeah.
It wasn't all
that
made
might
up.
have been because that was one where he was the bachelor, right? Where he was the one that was having to pick from all the women.
Yeah.
Or was
yeah. You're right. It's not Bachelorette. It's a Bachelor. You're right.
Yeah. No, I think if I can't remember her name right now, but if the most recent Bachelorette could have climbed a wall, I think she would have, because for a while there was it seemed like there was no good choice. there was no exit strategy.
None of those people end up together, right? That doesn't ever go.
I want to say that
I mean, come on.
one of the early ones is still together.
Really?
Trista and
Really?
yeah. Let's see.
That blows my mind. Because how could you?
Trista and Ryan. Nope, divorced.
Okay. All right. Because they don't.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bachelorette.
Yeah, I guess Trista and Ryan. Oh no, maybe they are still together. Let's see.
Stay together. Let's see. Couples who are still together. Bachelor and Bachelorette couples. Okay, I found a whole list on people.com. All right. It says here, Kevin Wendt and Astrid Locke. Bachelor in Paradise Season 5.
Okay, they're still together?
He's a Canadian fireman. She was a...
Jeez.
Doesn't say what she was. Let's see. And the episode, in fact, President Locke, which is where the pair have been living. Oh, they just got married in September, so they're still together.
Oh yeah, no, actually, here we go. They are still together, Trista and Ryan, and actually they live in Vail.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, Lindsay and Brian Osbolo, Abasolo. Season 13. They're married. They got married in 2019. Okay, so maybe this works out for people. But does it really? Does it really?
Though, right?
Come on. There's no way these last. I mean, I don't want to be I don't want to yuck their yum, but I'm telling you, there's just no way. It's all arbitrary and made up. It's a big construct.
It is. It is. I mean, if you were to trap, basically the woman in The Bachelorette is the only woman that these guys see for like 5 weeks. Of course, they're gonna fall head over heels in love with her because, she's no matter what, she is the only woman that they see for 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah. And they're all, they're beautiful people, the man and the lady, and, whatever. But there's no, like, lifelong, I remember when I married your grandmother 50 years ago after Bachelorette season 3. Like, it doesn't happen.
Right, exactly. I won your mother's heart fighting over her with 23 other guys because I was the only guy to eat a pig rectum.
I mean, that is a great grandpa story, if you're going to be honest.
What a great meet cute.
Yeah, definitely a meet cute. All right, well, there you go. That was fun. Now this.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go take my vitamins. Your news has upset me greatly.
It's the news, brought to you by
The Transformers Reanimated. Based on the original cartoon series, The Transformers Reanimated bridges the gap between the end of the seminal second season and the 1986 movie that defined the childhood of millions. Authors Yoshi and Greg are releasing each issue of their comic series along with cover art by today's top Transformers artists free of charge for your reading and nostalgic pleasure. Check out their first 4 issues with many more to come by visiting transformersreanimated.com.
Nice. Jeannie tuned out for that whole conversation. I don't know if it was for the...
It was for the, she does not want to hear about Hallmark. She basically says as soon as the word Hallmark Channel comes up, she mutes.
I can't help it. It comes up. I can't help
whatever. Yeah, you try living with a Hallmark Christmas show addict.
That's right. But we also then talked about The Bachelorette, which probably is okay if you muted that as well. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. I am going to now tell you some news stories that have come up recently here that are very important for our listeners to hear. All right?
Yes. Breaking news, everybody. This just in.
Yes, literally breaking news from LeBron James. LeBron James broke his own bit of news, his own win, let's call it.
Yeah.
He farted at fans after they asked for an autograph.
Hey, did he fart at them?
Well, it says "at" in the headline. I don't know if they. We'll see. Basketball star LeBron James responded to a fan request for an autograph by farting at him while leaving an Oklahoma steakhouse.
Oh, well, there you go.
LeBron and fellow basketballer Chris Paul, guy with 2 first names, were leaving the Mahogany Prime Steakhouse. That sounds good.
It does.
In Oklahoma City, when the fans...
I don't think that's how you spell mahogany, though.
Mohagany.
Yeah, I think it's M-A-H-O.
Yeah, Mohagany.
Yeah. It should be Mahogany, Mahogany is mahogany. So they spelled it.
That's MC
matter of
Gainey's
fact-
real name. You know that? Before MC Gainey died, he revealed his real name was
Mahogany
Mahogany.
Gainey.
He was Mahogany. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why they're spelling that. That is wrong. Is that maybe it's just the article, not the place.
Could be the restaurant could be spelled like that, or yeah.
New York Post not known for their quality writing.
No.
Anyway, these guys recorded their encounter before entering his waiting SUV rather, not his special victims unit. James, that is to say LeBron James, lifted his leg and offered a burst of flatulence so loud it was picked up by the camera's audio from the other side of the parking lot, says
Wow.
TMZ. It's been a banner week for farting news, with Eric Swalwell, the Democratic representative from California, also making national news. Wait, is he in California? I made that up. After he appeared to fart in that interview with host Chris Matthews. Now, I have it on some authority.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names here, but I know someone who works around and near Chris Matthews in New York. Okay?
Okay. Really? Okay.
He doesn't have any confirmation one way or the other, but he or she, this person, told me that Chris Matthews is a little bit of a slob, and it's possible it was him. That's all.
Uh-huh.
That's all I
Sure.
can say about it.
Okay.
It's possible
All right. Ooh,
that
look
Chris
at you.
Matthews dropped the bomb that day. He may have been the farter.
It dropped us the bomb.
Yes. And he just timed it really well so that Representative Swalwell, or however you say his name, just timed it perfectly. Who knows?
It was timed perfectly. Do we have audio of LeBron James fart?
We're going to see if this actually plays. So I'm bringing it up now. Here we go. Okay, I'm playing the video. Now, you guys, I'm going to crank it as loud as I can get. In fact, we're going to turn this down. All right, here we go.
Set us up the bomb. That was what I was trying to remember. That was what I was trying to do a callback to, and I couldn't remember that.
Yep.
The actual.
All right,
Good luck tomorrow at the game, guys.
Go Zaire.
We're big fans.
Ronnie James.
Oh, there he goes. He lifted his leg and everything. Now, here's the thing. I don't think he was doing that at the fans. I think he was just farting before he got in the car.
Yeah. He's doing the polite thing and not farting in the SUV.
Yes.
You fart before the SUV.
Yeah,
But
these
you
are the
also got
rules.
to wait a couple seconds too, because that fart will home in. You've got to you got to wait. You got to count like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Now you get in the SUV and the.
My general rule is a one lap around the car.
Really?
Half lap if it's cold outside. If
Sure.
it's cold, then you'll dissipate quicker. If it's just normal, 70-degree weather, California weather, you walk around your SUV once slowly to dissipate your business, and then get in the car. That's how you do it.
That's a good practice.
Yeah, because everyone else in that car, no matter how nice your SUV is, I'm sure that thing was real nice. I don't care. You're bringing it with you if you don't take that lap. So take a lap.
It sounds like a Seinfeld thing.
Yeah.
No, you've got to take the lap. You can't do a partial lap, George.
Did you take the lap?
Did you take the lap?
I took the lap, Jerry. I took the lap.
There was no time to take the lap, Jerry.
That voice is not
Why
George.
did you take the lap?
What voice is that when you do that?
That's more Uncle Leo than George Costanza.
Jerry, you're Uncle Leo.
Jerry!
I love Uncle Leo. He's one of my
I do
favorites.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys ever, for real, for you Rangers, you see me walk around the car, you know exactly what's up. I'm not checking
I
tires.
think we have video of you before you got in that Lamborghini back in at Nertacular 2010.
Nine,
where you
actually.
that was 2009?
Yeah, that's
right, because that's where the photos came from.
Yeah, we drove over to that park. We found this picture. Shoot, I don't have it handy for the chat, but we found this picture of Brian and Tristan. And man, I forgot how young he was then. Holy crap.
That's 10 years. He was like 12, but he looks like he's 5
He's
in that photo, man. He looks so
tiny.
young.
Yeah, he looks tiny. And Carter was the same age, and I looked at some of hers from that year. Just, it's time, dude, time.
Oh, man.
If I could keep time in a bottle.
I didn't feel the ravages of time until I saw that photo of Tristan. Thought, what the heck?
Everything.
He's that little
This
kid.
whole time, Brian's like, Scott, you just, time.
You overreact.
Yeah, overreact. But now you feel
Ah.
it. Now you feel it. You get it. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to this story. Disney has deleted.
Get ready. Ooh,
Oh,
get
go
ready for if you have not watched any Mandalorian, maybe skip ahead.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that this isn't it. Is it?
That's probably not, because this is all over. This thing is all over social media. So if you if you haven't seen it, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's no big twist in the story. It's just there's a character in the story that now has, that is super well known now and is gifted to high heaven. They're everywhere. But there's a okay, so all right, you've skipped ahead. Great, well done. If you haven't, I'll tell the rest of you. Whatever race Yoda comes from,
right?
There's a baby one of those in the Mandalorian, and by baby we mean he's 50 years old because they live to be like 900.
That's right. It's a Yodamite.
Yodamite. There you go.
Yodamite.
I like that.
That's the race that they're from. He's a Yodamite.
That's that weird Australian smear they put on bread, isn't it? Yodamite.
He just smiled and gave me a Yodamite sandwich.
Dick Cheese doing a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
I come from a land down under.
So yeah, it's the worst kept secret of the world that there's a tiny little Yoda baby in the movie, in the show, and we won't tell you any more than that. But here's the deal: Disney is deleting Baby Yoda gifs over copyright concerns. The Mandalorian finally premiered this month, and anyway, it's been a big breakout hit. People are really liking it, and the big character everyone talks about is this little baby Yoda. In the show's pilot, he encounters this new baby. Turns out to be the baby, or the baby is some sort of unknown species as Yoda. Are they unknown? Do we not know where Yoda's?
We do not know. Yeah, we do not know Yoda's race.
But
all we've seen is that there's Yaddle, which is another
Yoda,
another character, or another being that comes from that race. But breaking news as of today.
Yeah.
Disney or Giphy has restored the Baby Yoda gifts.
Oh, good. Disney, you know what that is?
Our long national nightmare is over.
That's like 2 or 3 lawyers at Disney jumping the gun. They don't understand the internet.
Actually, Giphy is saying, the site Giphy is actually saying that it wasn't because of Disney. They're stressing that Disney was not responsible. Giphy only pulled the snippets temporarily while it reviewed the situation, the company said in a statement to the BBC.
Okay. They just didn't want to get in trouble.
So it might not be Disney related. It might have just been Giphy saying,
just Giphy watching their ass is what they were doing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because they're like they're like the YouTube of GIFs, and people upload everything there. Mm-hmm. I think GIFs, by their very nature, should just leave them alone. It's no big deal. Like it doesn't matter what they make a GIF of. Don't go after them, and then Giphy shouldn't be nervous. That's just that we are far enough into this internet culture where I think GIFs are safe. They should be safe. That's fair use. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
I'd agree.
Anyway, he's super cute, and we all love Yoda.
He is.
Yes.
But does Carter go, every time?
Oh, she loves
he pops
him.
Up on screen?
She loves him. Just adores him. When his little hand comes
up. How
many
drawings of Baby Yoda have?
10, 12, something like that. Her iPad's overflowing with them now.
I'm sure. I can't imagine she's drawn anything else since she saw episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
You're not wrong. And she's done a bunch of buddy pics of her of Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian like hanging out.
Of course.
She's got one where he's floating the Mandalorian. There's another one where they're just touching fingers, like all that kind of stuff. She loved the part. She made an audible gasp when he reached up to get the knob off the thing, and he handed him the knob.
Yeah.
It was adorable. It shouldn't work, but it does. I don't know why it works.
Know, exactly. Like Baby Shrek, completely stupid, right? Like any other thing where you get a baby version of a popular character, it's like, oh, what a cash grab, sell toys.
Yeah.
Piece of
a baby Wookiee would have been stupid. A baby, just about anything. Mm-hmm. Baby anything would have been dumb. Something about it. So you're telling me from even in the prequels when we had Yaddle and Yoda together. A couple of Jedis on the council there.
Yeah.
Did we not know then what race they were? I mean, we had to know some point.
It never got discussed.
No one's ever brought it up.
No, and it's not even in the the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I don't even think the Wikipedia lists. Let's take a look here. I'm pretty sure. Yoda's species.
Yeah. It's a speciest. There's probably some theories, right?
Yes, Yoda is a force-sensitive male being belonging to a mysterious species. Legendary Jedi Master witnessed the rise and fall of the Galactic Republic. But Born in 896 BBY, before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
He was almost 900 years old in the latter days of the Republic. Blah, 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 blah. Got it on with Yaddle and produced a baby.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, Brian. Brian went up. Brian snuck up to the edge and then slinked back. Woo. That is, by the way, for any who are concerned, that is not an actual spoiler of anything.
No,
I thought Brian was blowing my mind. That's what I thought was happening. Anyway, he's a cute little booger, and I want one of my own. All right.
That's another 3D print thing that's super popular right now.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Willie Nelson in the news. He's never going to die. He'll live forever. That's number one.
Exactly. Weed apparently is a tremendous preservative.
Yep. It's just encasing him in carbonite, basically.
Exactly. Yes.
Slowly and over time. But anyway, Willie Nelson has appointed himself chief tester at his own brand new weed company.
Is this news really? Was Snoop Dogg not available?
I'm sure
Seth Rogen was busy.
They're both invited to the ribbon cutting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, then they'll kick him out. I hate his laugh so much. I hate it. Oh, Seth Rogen, you're cool. I like your.
It's a genuine guffaw, man. How could you hate Seth Rogen's laugh?
Hate it. I can't even do it.
That was actually closer than the one I did.
It's gross. It's the worst laugh. Anyway, but I like him because in a lot of the movies they don't let him laugh like that.
Right.
And also, he does a lot of production now, which is all super good. Anyway, moving on. Here it says it's called Willie's Reserve. By the way, is the name of this thing. It's his own brand.
Sure.
Company is showing no signs of decline, while the brand's leading taste tester being the iconic singer-songwriter himself. Songer-singwriter. He talked on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Nelson had been yet to find any bad strains of the drug, and let's see, we are more inclined to believe him when he says that, or that it has a life-changing effect on him. He says this: I used to smoke 2 or 3 packs of cigarettes a day and drink whatever there was to drink. I had pneumonia for 4 or 5 weeks. My lung collapsed. I almost died. I said, wait a minute. I ain't getting that high off of Chesterfields. So I throw out the cigarettes, rolled up 20 joints, and stuck it there. I haven't smoked a cigarette since. 86-year-old country musician icon has been vocalizing the benefits of marijuana, recreational and medicinal, for years. He's even been known to be the only person to outsmoke Snoop Dogg amongst the longtime free-spoken weed smokers, which is noteworthy in itself, it says.
Yeah, I wonder. I'd be curious as to how many joints a day Willie smokes.
Probably.
Like, is it the equivalent of a pack a day? Is he smoking 20 joints a day?
I wouldn't be shocked. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because if he says he smokes more than Snoop, Snoop does at least that.
I would think so, yeah. Snoop actually, in a Howard Stern interview, they talked about it. Snoop has a person on his staff that he pays just there to roll joints.
Just to make his weed for him.
Just to make blunts. Wow.
That's fantastic. That's what a rich gangster does.
Exactly. It's like I'd like to have personal joint roller money. That's my new term for how rich I want to be. I want to have personal joint roller money. Even though I'm not going to smoke joints.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What would you use that guy for? If you had a little assistant guy who did nothing but one job for you that's like that, what would it be? What would you make him do?
Clean my resin.
Nice.
No,
nice.
What would he do?
It's a euphemism.
That's a good question. Yeah, it's a good euphemism right there.
Clean my resin.
Grind my rep.
Yeah, earn my gold, grind my rep.
How's my Mechagon rep coming?
That's not bad.
I don't pay you to sit around. Well, I kind of do.
Yeah. No, this is an actually decent idea. Have them grind all your rep in the game you don't want to grind. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
All right, a minute.
Go catch everything in the Galar region of Pokemon Shield.
Yeah.
God, I'm loving that game, by the way. I'm loving the game.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Let's do it. Let's do a few days in review here. You still give it an 8 or whatever?
Still loving it. I've killed 3 gym bosses. Just killed them.
Okay.
I've beaten three gyms.
Okay. Yeah, nobody really dies in Pokemon, right? Everyone's lives.
Oh God, no. Yeah, so I mean, even your Pokemon faint when, if they get beaten by another Pokemon, like scorched to death by a flying Charmander or a Charizard. They, it's like, oh, he fainted.
Yeah.
Just fainted from all that fire.
He's just tired. He's okay.
Yeah.
He'll live.
No, I'm basically getting now into the middle part of the game, right? The first 3 gyms are going to be easier to beat because their weaknesses are the 3 starters: water, fire, and grass.
Yeah.
Which are also Willie Nelson's favorite 3 things.
That's what he used to call Earth, Wind, and Fire. They didn't like it, but
water, fire, and grass.
Yeah.
I've been doing raids in there. I have not done raids with other real people, but it brings in NPCs to do the raids with you if you don't want to jump online and find people to play with. But if there's anybody else in the Tadpool, we probably should start a little Tadpool post with share everybody's player number, and because I wouldn't mind raiding with Tadpoolers. I just don't want to raid with randos.
Yeah, randos are the worst. Nobody wants randos. I guess you don't have to talk to them, but at least with Tadpoolers you'd know, hey, they're gonna,
it's like, oh look, there's TV's Travis, or oh look, there's
right, and they're not gonna screw up or come troll or do something dumb in there. They're gonna play.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah, there is a Pokemon Tadpool, but that's more of a Pokemon Go Tadpool group, isn't it? On Facebook, Zoe. I guess. If there's going to be anybody sharing their codes, it's going to be in
there's going to be crossover there if there is at all, for sure.
For sure,
right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I believe you. I think you have a bright future in Tadpool based rating. So
yeah,
good luck.
Anyway, I'm loving it.
That's awesome. All right, we'll check in later when you get to the big twist. Just kidding. I don't think there is one. I have no idea. Is there a big twist? I have no idea.
I don't know, Scott. If there is,
yeah.
I haven't reached it yet.
Pikachu was always.
The Pikachu was a baby.
He was never there. I don't know what it would be.
The Pikachu was a baby.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Bill Duran will be here. He may have some advice on the resin. I don't know. We'll talk to him about that and other things with our Making Things with Bill segment. And then Jury Duty right after that. Justin Robert Young's swooping in. We're going to talk about Mayor Pete and some other stuff. So stick around for that, and we'll get around to that in a second. Before that, though, Brian has brung it, and he will play it. Do you have a song?
Sure. Yeah, we spent so much of our indie time last week in Melbourne and Sydney, Australia. We're back to the States. Yesterday was a Texas performer. Today is an Omaha, Nebraska / Council Bluffs, Iowa band, like right in here in the Midwest.
Whoa.
A band called Names Without Numbers. They are getting ready to release a brand new album December 13th called Silos and Smokestacks. And these guys are great if you're fans of like Jimmy Eat World, the All-American Rejects, Anne Berlin, bands like that. They've got kind of like a rock pop, but kind of an indie rock pop kind of sound. Really good. This is a brand new song that is the first single from the album called The Dragonfly and the Owl. Here is the band, Names Without Numbers.
All right. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Nobody's going to die tonight or tomorrow.
I don't give a hoot.
We really pulled a boner on this one.
The Morning Stream. Yo, that Leave It to Beaver line almost killed me.
And we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. Isn't this great? I love this guy. Hold on, I want to play him again.
Nobody's going to die tonight or tomorrow.
I don't give a hoot.
I love that. It's like, do we want to do another take? No, we're keeping it going.
I'm pretty sure that was like some 1930s live thing, and they just
live radio. Yeah,
they
so probably couldn't do it again.
Probably didn't even have the option.
Tomorrow. Mega Man.
He's like the Mega Man guy.
He's like the Mega Man guy. Play me a little bit of the Mega Man guy.
Oh, he's so good. Hold on, is he here? Yeah, let's do this here. Mega Man. Here we go. This guy.
Catman.
Wrong one. Hold on. There he is. No, that's not it either. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Mega Man. Oh, I don't have it? You're kidding.
What?
Oh, here we go.
Stop it.
I got one.
Mega Man, you must go after him.
We don't know who he is, and it's dangerous to leave him alone.
That's just one of them. I don't know where the other ones are. I've got.
That's a. Oh man, well, there's the.
There's the that's a good question one.
That's a good question. Yeah.
I do have that, which is right here.
That's a good question.
But I don't want to. I have one where he really screws up the whole time.
Yeah, I know, and I wish I could remember.
I don't remember the name. I labeled that bad. I'm sure it's in there. I just can't find it. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this part of the show. What's this part of the show, you say? Well, it's where we add Bill Duran to the call, and we'll see what he's up to these days. Hold on. He was just here last week. What possibly could we have today? We don't know. We don't know until we talk to him. And we'll know that in a second after I play this.
But Bill just isn't thinking about danger.
Bill Duran all the way from punishprops.com and the Pacific Northwest, somewhere near Seattle. Hello, Bill. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Scott and Brian.
Good morning,
Bill.
to you.
Yes.
I was looking through all these old 2009, 2010 photos because I was in the mood for, like, hey, look at the decade. How much has changed or whatever. And I found some baby-faced Bill Duran at Nerdtacular shots that would make everybody just weep a little. They were so cute.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Cute
Probably
little Bill.
a lot less gray in the old beard.
Yeah, there was no gray, really. And you had, like, a cute little goatee unit thing going on there.
Yeah, and then I started my own business.
Yep. And you were walking around with a camera and
that's right. Yeah, you and Brittany were like, you had a little booth set up on the far corner of that room. Where you were doing photos of everybody.
Yep. It was awesome.
And interviewing them. Yeah.
It was so cool. But anyway, those were the days. So, Bill, it's nice to have known you for these 10 years or so.
Sure is.
And we are excited now to hear what you've brung us today. What are you doing? What are you making? What are you talking about?
Well, first of all, we did our Mandalorian helmets a couple weeks ago, and the response has been amazing, and people are building Boba Fett and Mandalorian helmets. So if you want in on that, you can check out that video. There's free patterns. It's a super fun project to do with a friend. And we're having people submit their final ones by the end of the year so we can put a compilation together. So if that sounds fun, I say go do it.
Are you tempted at all to make the lady one with the horns on it that takes your what's it called? Pancreas metal or whatever the hell it's called? And make armor out of it? She's got a pretty rad helmet.
It's really cool, and a friend of mine is making one, so if I want one, I can just get a casting from him.
Nice.
So, yeah, fortunately, I'm all set there. But that's a really cool design. I like it.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think I stand by my theory that she's Zabrakian. She's got, like, Darth Maul horns under there, and that's why you got the horns on the helmet to accommodate them. I like it. Yeah, I could be wrong, but anyway. We'll probably never know because they don't take their helmets off as part of the deal, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, imagine what those things smell like. Sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
Part of the code.
Yes,
the power of adequate ventilation.
I have a chapter on that in the new book I'm writing. That's 100% true.
Oh, I totally believe it. Yeah.
I believe it. Sure. Why not?
Anyway, all right. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about a tool restoration video that I was watching, and I've been watching a lot of restoration videos. And thinking a lot about restoring an object as a form of making. There's I think I mentioned a guy who restores Matchbox cars. Super interesting, super fun and satisfying to watch. There's something about taking something that's clearly like no good anymore and turning it back into what it looked like when it came out of the factory. There's something satisfying both about watching someone do that, but also obviously doing that yourself.
Sure.
I'll tell you what, too, for video, for content, it's hard to beat that before and after, where before it's just like a rusty old piece of junk that looks like it would never work again. And then the after photo, you cut right to it. It's all shiny and chrome and painted. It's hard to beat that, both like to do it and to see it in action.
Yeah, I like to see that with a lot of all these artists I follow and illustrators I follow. I love watching, even if it's not, time-lapse video or something, just let me see your sketch. Like, let's see the roughs. Let's see the flat color and ink. Let's see the final. And let's see them all, like, together. I love that kind of comparison. It's not quite the same as restoration, obviously, but it's still got that feeling of, like, we started with nothing. Or, something that looks sort of garbagey and it turned into this. I love that kind of stuff. It's
right. Cool. One of the other cool things about restoration is you actually get to be a little bit destructive. Especially if the thing you're restoring is like rusty and metal, and you can like sandblast it or use paint stripper and toxic chemicals or like a wire brush. Like you get to be a little aggressive when you're restoring it. The other fun thing too, and I was thinking about this, if I like made a video where I restored something, I would want to start with the worst possible case scenario, right? I'd want an object that's so dirty and so grimy and broken that no one would ever believe that I could fix it back to its former glory, but then I would. Like you would want to try, you wouldn't, like if I was going to restore a car for myself and I wasn't filming it, I'd want to get one that's as nearly restored as possible, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But if I'm telling a story, I'd want to get one that's awful and was in a car wreck and I got to like replace everything on it.
Sure.
And that makes for a more fun thing to watch.
Right.
You also sometimes get to rebuild things from scratch. That happens in the tool restoration videos a lot. The tool will be missing a part and they'll have to, use a lathe to make a new bit or something.
Like that planer guy
fun.
You showed us. Was it a planer? Whatever that thing's called.
Yeah, block plane.
Yeah, that was rad.
Right, and there were parts on it. Most of it he could use, but I believe there were a couple of parts he had to make from scratch, which is super neat.
Yeah, that thing was really cool looking.
It was super, super dope. There are a lot of people who restore cars on YouTube. I watched some. There are guys who will take exotic cars like Lamborghinis and whatnot that have been in an accident, and they are totaled. They I don't know. They got sent to a junkyard or whatever. They're not drivable anymore, and these guys will restore them to be like perfect supercar Lamborghinis, and they have to be really good about that. Very particular about it, but they redo the paint, they do any mechanical work. It's really cool and interesting work.
Yeah, I love watching that stuff. And the thing is, I think they can get that stuff super cheap. Like a lot of times it's in auctions. My dad used to do this. He'd go to California and he would get a car that would be, if it was in good shape or not busted up, he could get a car for like, I don't know, 10% of the normal going rate just because the frame was just, had damage or whatever. And then you bring it home, fix it, tweak it, paint it, sell it for way more. Like that was like kind of a little business you did. But if your thing was like, I make content on YouTube and my content is restoring rad cars, it's not that expensive. Like you could do it and then turn those around and sell them again. And
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
If you want a really low budget, you could restore Matchbox cars. Those things.
It's a good way to get into it.
Yeah. So when I was a teenager, my dad wanted to restore a 1968 Volvo P1800 sports car, a little two-door sports car. It was the car he had when he was in his 20s. So we bought a few of them and mixed and matched until we had enough parts to build one, but then we completely restored it. We took every single part off of it. We stripped all the paint. The bumpers got re-chromed. The seats got reupholstered. Like this thing looks brand new. And we'd spent like 2 or 3 years on it. And it was super cool. I learned a lot while we were doing it. Man, I wish we had filmed some of it. That would have been great. But it was really, really fantastic. And the kicker, of course, is that we were finishing it right when my twin brother and I were turning 16. And that car, my dad was able to get classic car insurance, which is super cheap. But they made him sign a thing specifically stating that neither of his twin teenage boys would ever drive the car.
Wow.
So we were fighting over who was going to take it to the prom. And we got our photos for the prom taken in front of that car, but then we had to drive the minivan to the prom.
Did you guys was it a group date? Like you guys were all together and stuff?
It was me and my twin and our 2 dates.
Gotcha. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Plenty. We couldn't have all fit in the Volvo anyway.
Did anybody swap? Go. I don't like her very much. I'm gonna swap today. Let's swap. Did that happen?
No.
Okay. All right.
See if they notice. Yeah.
See if they notice.
Just for one dance.
Yeah.
Right.
He says, "Gosh, Bill, you're sure stepping on my feet more than you used to. Weird.
Yeah. What happened to you? All of a sudden you can dance."
Yeah. And he says, "I want to be a teacher." Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Your brother is a teacher. He's a great teacher, and he should be.
Fantastic.
Yes, people should rave his teaching. Anyway.
Yes, they should.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's
Yeah.
that. Real quick, I wanted to mention that we're going to have a sale this weekend at punishedprops.com with some new stuff in the store and sales on like our Foamsmith books, both print and digital. So if you're wanting to get into some of this fun makery stuff, that's a great place to start.
Will there be a Nuka-Cola replica on the store by chance?
No, I don't think so. Other companies have actual licenses to sell those. So
this is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite things I ever got from anyone ever. I've been talking about it for days now, but I'll say it again because I happen to have it handy here. This is my favorite thing anyone ever made for me or gave me. So Bill, thanks for this.
You're welcome.
I love it.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. And why? Here's the question I have, and I'll have this question until I die or until they do it. Why has Bethesda never partnered with a soft drink company to make a limited run of actual Nuka-Cola? They could do it in a heartbeat. There's no problem molding a bottle like this. You guys are idiots for not doing it. We would all buy a case. You're stupid. You're stupid.
That is a great question. Yeah.
So I have a tiny bit of insight.
Okay.
Apparently, the way it works is not it's not difficult to get a license for Bethesda products, and it seems like it's upon vendor companies like the Wand Company, who made the really cool Pip-Boy kit. It's kind of their prerogative, since they have the license to develop those types of products. So it would take a soft drink company that wants in on that to obtain a license from Bethesda. I don't think they have any sort of incentive. I don't think they make a lot of money from that stuff.
Gotcha.
Now they did do a Nuka Dark rum, and there is a company that makes novelty liquor bottles. They got a license and made a Nuka-Cola rum bottle that was gigantic and plastic and not particularly any good, and they filled it with really terrible rum. I bought one, and I have regrets.
Yeah, you probably have regrets. There is
That's kind of it. I think it would, and this is mostly speculation, but I do know a little bit about it. I think it would take a software company wanting to do that to make it happen.
There is a there is a Nuka-Cola Quantum Jones Cola thing on Amazon that is not in stock. They don't do it anymore. But apparently this was the Jones drink company, whoever they are. I've heard of them before, but Jones Soda Company. Anyway, they apparently did a thing very briefly, but these don't look like what you made.
No,
I want the in-game
like
stuff.
Rockets.
Yeah, I want the in-game deal. That's what I want.
Yeah. Do you want to? I have a cool in-game thing for you to check out.
What do you got?
A good recommendation.
Yeah.
So Colin Furs, YouTuber, maker extraordinaire, he made the Riptire from Overwatch, Junkrat's Riptire.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
that. He actually made two different ones, 2 different videos on 2 different versions of the Riptire. You look up Colin Furs and look up Riptire, you'll find them. They're bonkers and destructive and terrifying and awesome.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Look, it's got like metal and stuff. I thought it'd be just some plasticky ding dong, but no.
No, it's legitimately dangerous. And the other one he made is even more so.
Wow. All right. Oh, look at the metal spike stuff these got with like the sheet metal on the side. Someone's gonna die with that.
Yeah, that is gonna. That he has to have cut his hands like a bunch of times making that thing.
That's really cool. All right, well, I always like this bonus stuff. Go check him out. That's let's see, Colin Furs. With a Z in it, Z-E. He's on YouTube, and like you said, you can just Google it and you will find it. That's fantastic. As always, Bill, good to have you here. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving week. Enjoy the holiday, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, take care.
Bye, Bill. Oh, punishprops.com. I should tell people that.
So cool.
Punishprops.com. Chinbeard on Twitter. Give them all the props. Get it?
Give the props.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah.
The propers.
Pretty good.
Give him all his propers.
That's why we get the big money. Made a good line like that. Let's see. Justin is on his way in.
Can we get a little do-do-diddly-dee-dee from this guy?
Hell yeah.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Oh, and this. Got to play that because today is, in particular, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about, at least partially about that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. One Justin Robert Young, all the way from beautiful downtown, not downtown, wherever it is, Oakland, California. Hello, Justin.
Close enough to downtown.
Yeah? Are you right down in it? Are you part of the jet set there in Oakland?
Well, considering our city hall is currently besieged by tents of both actual homeless and people that are protesting the city's treatment of the homeless, I don't know if Jet Set is quite how you would describe downtown Oakland at the moment.
Wow. Okay.
It certainly is. It certainly is where I live.
What is the deal with? Not that we can. This isn't our topic today, but I'm just.
What's the deal?
Everybody, everywhere else, always talks about Bay Area homelessness is just like off the charts bad right now. Is that true, or are people blown? You know, because sometimes you hear news about a place and you think, does nothing but flood in New Orleans. That's all it does is flood. We don't know anything else but flooding. But I always have the feeling, obviously, things are more nuanced. So is it really the worst it's ever been? And homelessness, is it like at the, the peak there?
Well, it's like, people just assuming that everybody in Florida deals cocaine.
Sure.
I certainly, now that I've lived many other places, most of the coke dealers I've met lived in Florida, but certainly not everyone.
Okay. All right.
And I would say that the homelessness in the Bay Area is the worst I've ever seen in any place that I've lived, but it's not quite the hellscape that I think is sometimes portrayed.
Part of it is you guys just have great temperatures there mostly year round, and people always don't. Well, I'm sure some people mention it, but you don't hear it mentioned a lot. That if you have temperate climate, you're going to end up with people who are more comfortable stuck outside all night, and extremes
yes and no. A part of the thing with San Francisco is that it's tiny. It's 7 miles by 7 miles. There's not a lot of room. So if you have a high homelessness population, it's just going to show up more, by the numbers and by the real estate. There are some other stuff that I'm sure politically you could get into on exactly how much is homeless rehabilitation, how much is, how helpful in the Tenderloin are the needle swaps, right?
Right.
There's I think very good conversation to be had around that. But ultimately, the tent cities out here are insane, and part of it is rising housing prices. There's a lot of money out here, and we would not be able to live out here if we didn't have a rent controlled apartment.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It is even Oakland, and we have moved to Oakland 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's very, very expensive, but now look, there's questions about how the city is going to handle it, and also mismanagement of money. That there's apparently some money that came in that went missing, and this is the same city that couldn't keep a police chief 2 years ago because not only the deposed police chief but also his two successors had all had sex with the same underage hooker.
Whoa! Really? Jeez.
Yeah, Google that one, kids.
I have not heard of that one. That's pretty sweet. Not in a bad way.
No, yeah.
That's sweet in a bad way. Yeah.
That's the wrong word I used. All right. Well, that's all well and good. Let's talk. It's not well and good. It needs to be better. So hopefully.
To be fair, I can't remember whether or not the hooker was underage now that I think about it. But it just felt good to yell. So I will qualify that until somebody finds the receipts. Yeah.
Sidebar: was she underage?
Citation needed. All right. Speaking of citations. Not really. I wanted to briefly just discuss this idea that, somebody like we talk about politics on this segment on Tuesdays. Typically,
we do. Yes.
It's not always us pulling our hair out and yelling about it. Sometimes it's just a nice, easy conversation about aspects of it, and I think that might be what today is. So, Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Buttigieg. Sorry, I always think of the Trump thing when he does it. Buttigieg. He's. I hate that so bad when he did that. Anyway.
Sounds like
and the funny thing is that he doesn't even, or his husband doesn't pronounce the name that way. It's I think there is a very laissez-faire attitude toward the pronunciation of their name. They're just fine as long as it starts with a B. I think they're all right.
I would have taken the other guy's name if it was me. I don't know what his name is, but
it could have been something really bad.
Yeah, it could have been. But if it's like
I don't know what Chasen's. Oh, geez, would it be? Here's where a bunch of white straight guys struggle. Is it called a maiden name?
Maiden name. Well, I don't know if you do that with the gay with the gay relationship.
With the gay marriage, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Also, we were having my daughter and I were having this conversation the other day. Do you have bachelor parties
Before
I would
gay
assume
marriage.
so. I would assume that
Okay.
that's more about just celebrating a single life before you join your life.
So do you call them that, or do you call them? Does anyone have a shower?
No. Well, I mean, I guess you could do whatever the hell you want. I think that's the larger point, right? The
Yeah.
meta point is that you can do whatever you want.
Right.
I don't know if there are societal norms for that, but I don't know why. I mean, they're both bachelors.
Yeah.
And you probably, I mean, it's probably just up to each individual. Like, I'd like to have a bachelor party and just kind of celebrate. Yeah, me too. All right, we'll each have our own little bachelor parties before we.
Yeah, I always looked at those as more of a celebration of your single life.
Yeah.
and
Right.
less of a like, let me get away from this person.
Debauchery, a night of, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How drunk you get and what strippers you have are up to you. Good luck. All right. So here's the official pronunciation.
Boot edge.
All right. There you go. So anyway, he's risen in the polls while others, notably Joe Biden, has dropped significantly, although he's still ahead technically, but significant point drop, while Mayor Pete seems to be rising in the polls, and nobody else seems to be rising at that rate. And so I wondered if that meant anything, if that's actually a reliable sign of anything, like a change, or that he's going to take the lead, or that he's polling better with certain demographics than others, and that sort of thing. Like, what does that mean?
So, all right, let's clarify exactly what we mean here, because in terms of national polls, Biden is still far ahead.
Okay.
He is right now, according to the Real Clear Politics average, at 9.8% ahead of his nearest competitors. The problem is that for the primaries, we do not vote nationwide. We vote state by state, and oftentimes the result of those elections wind up feeding into the next election, which feeds into the next election, which feeds into the next election.
Yeah.
In this cycle, there's going to be Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. So let's go through those one by one. Currently, Pete Buttigieg, again, heretofore unknown mayor from South Bend, Indiana, and my God, talk about some Boy Named Sue stuff, that the first mainstream gay candidate has butt in his last name and is the mayor of South Bend, Indiana.
Also, but see, okay, sorry, keep going.
I'm just saying.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying.
I get
That
it.
man has that is some. He's there's not going to be a lot that he hasn't heard. Is all I'm saying.
Right. I get it.
That dude is running at 5.7% ahead of his closest competitor, which is right now Elizabeth Warren. Oh wait, no, Bernie Sanders in Iowa.
Yeah.
Let's look at New Hampshire. In the most recent New Hampshire poll, although Warren is still up in terms of the Real Clear Politics average by a razor-thin 1.7, it is Mayor Pete that was ahead by a lot in a St. Anselm poll, 25% to 15%, and is only behind by 1% and ahead of Joe Biden in both those polls, 14 to 13%. So he is surging in the early states that are actually going to vote. That matters. It matters a lot, because I don't know, no matter how much Joe Biden is leading in South Carolina, and right now he is in the mid double digits there. That's the fourth state to vote. And I don't know if he can place third in those first two and then do whatever he does in Nevada and then have winning South Carolina mean something. That just might look like an outlier by the time that it actually comes to fruition.
His reasoned approach and the way he responds to questions in the debates, and the way he talks in general, holds himself in general, at the early parts of this process, I would have said, well, that's not going to go anywhere. You're just going to be boring and no one's going to care. This is, if this is a Democratic referendum on Trump, well, you're going to have to be a little more bombastic than this and whatever. But I actually get this feeling that he is starting to appeal to more people because of that approach. It's almost like we're tired, we've had it, we'd just like someone to talk normal, to be reasonable with their responses, to say something that makes sense, to not be a freak show. And I know there are people who really like Bernie and really like Warren and really like others, but they've got their freak show elements, right? They've got their spaz out, freak out kind of moments or aspects.
I mean, is it? I really don't know if, in terms of temperament, there's much of a difference between Elizabeth Warren and Mayor Pete, or even Joe Biden for that matter. I think that they are all capable politicians that have their strengths and weaknesses. Effectively, where the lines that I think will actually matter for people as they go to the polls is the politics. And Mayor Pete has seen his rise in poll numbers go up as he has more clearly defined himself as a moderate. He is trying to play in that moderate lane. He is doing so more effectively recently, at least in the early states, than Joe Biden, who continues to be extraordinarily old and prone to slurring through his words.
Extraordinarily old. I mean, he is for this. I mean, he's running at 77, right?
78, I believe.
78,
he would be.
geez.
Well, I don't know. No, I think Bernie might be the oldest. I know that Mike Bloomberg is only a few months behind Biden. The difference is this: is that Biden tracks as old.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
he
yeah.
plays older.
Yeah.
And they've done their best, man. The Biden campaign. There was a big story that came out recently about how Biden has lived through his stutter. And so they tried to play off like, oh, he's not like senile or anything. He just has a stutter. And as he's getting older, it's a little bit more pronounced. Well, cool. I'm glad everybody who read the magazine article can have a better thought about it. And also, I have a stutter. I stutter through stuff. Anybody who listens to my stuff knows that I stammer and stutter through things.
It's a stammer, not a stutter. But yeah.
Yeah. You don't stutter. You stammer. You don't even stammer
Okay.
that much. You're one of the, you're an articulate delivery mechanism for words. You do okay.
All I'm saying is that took a long time to get over. And I am sympathetic to it. And I do not take folly in anybody who has that kind of condition that affects their daily life, right? Nor do I suggest that I have sent something that bad. However, I don't know how much it means for somebody running for president.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, I people ask me, well, where are you at with all this? And I don't know, I lean toward Buttigieg because I like his, I don't know, I just like
Have
the
you
guy.
seen the dance?
I have seen the dance. It didn't
Are
bother
you going
me.
to learn the dance?
No, I don't want to learn the dance. You know
Can
what it
you
is?
just try to learn the dance, though.
It's nice to see a guy who seems a
If
little moderate.
you support Buttigieg, you have to learn the dance.
Oh shit! Well then then forget it. I'm voting for Cheeto again. Or whatever. No, I want to see a guy who or lady, I don't care, who's got a little bit more of a moderate take, who's also not 1,000 years old, who I think it's a big plus. He served in the military. We don't really get those anymore because we have different kind of wars now, but we're starting to see
I'll tell you what, I have absolutely loved that Mayor Pete and Tulsi Gabbard have gotten into it on foreign policy in these last few debates, because I find it just personally refreshing that we actually have people on a presidential debate stage arguing about military policy that actually served in the military recently.
Yeah.
And in wars that happened within our generation and aren't, a Vietnam or World War II or whatever. Like, this is, I think, refreshing, because when they talk about these issues, they don't talk about them in terms of the general's perspective. They talk about it in terms of the infantryman's perspective.
right, which is how it used to be for another generation of people that would then run for president. People like Bob Dole, people like George Bush Sr., people like others who I can't think of.
Well, Clinton was really the shift on that.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden distinguished military service was not an issue, or at least a disqualifying issue in the way that it once was, and that was part of his generational appeal.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, I just like it feels like he's like a weird return. It's ironic. It's ironic that he is literally the country's first openly gay. I say openly because I know there were some in there. They just weren't open. Anyway, openly gay candidate for president. And yet I feel like he's speaking the most to my conservative leanings that aren't, I don't mean current Republican Party leanings. I mean my fiscal conservatism, which some would laugh at because they think that his Elizabeth Warren stuff is just like hers, or the things he has about economics are just like hers. I'm just saying I like a little more moderate approach to things. and it's funny. It's the gay guy who's giving me that. I mean, just from a flat like bird's eye perspective, that's an amazing thing. that the gay guy is accomplishing the things that I normally expect from the not gay people, because now it turns out what I expect from the not gay people, especially on the right these days, is just abject dickery and homophobia and racism and shit like that. So
what you're saying is that you're not fully endorsing Pete, but yet you are not fully rejecting Pete. Would it be safe to say that you are Mayor Pete Curie?
I am.
I mean, I dabbled a little bit with Mayor Pete.
Yeah. I'm boot edge curious.
Although, by the way, ironically, he has certainly not found his experimentation in college, or at least with current college students, because he is somebody that is very quickly being labeled as a moderate in the worst sense of the words. The progressives right now smell a time where socialism, or at least a more collectivist, redistributive policy, could actually have a fair shot in terms of a national election. Bernie is a champion there. Warren, to a certain extent, is a champion as well, although her Medicare for All latest stuff is not exactly heartening for many of them.
Right.
But Mayor Pete is the enemy of that. Mayor Pete is the person that swoops in at the 11th hour, and despite the fact that there is very obviously a political revolution underway, is going to short circuit it by way of the exact same moderate policies that have dominated the Democratic Party for the past several decades. And so you're seeing a tremendous amount of opposition to him, at least from the progressive side.
Yeah, I totally get that. I just, if I'm to vote today, I think he gets my vote. If I'm to vote in November of 2020, I'll vote for anybody else. So it doesn't matter who's there. Whoever wins this primary, good job. I hope you're alive. If it's one of you old folks, I hope you're living.
So wait a minute, hold on. Let me ask you this question. Like, so there's no amount of progressivism that you would find, like, not to say that you would vote for Trump, but you would just not vote.
No, I would. No matter what, I would vote. And no, because here's what I think this is what happens. Like, even if Bernie wins, he's not going to go in and on day one, everyone's college debt is paid for. All billionaires pay a huge tax rate that gets redistributed into services and programs, and we're all going to have free health care. It isn't going to happen, if at all, during a Bernie administration. I just think that's a realistic thing to believe. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, maybe we get inroads, maybe we get pushes toward better systems, smarter systems, all that. Maybe that's all true. But no, none of them are. If Bernie gets the nomination, I'm voting Bernie. If some independent is running and seems super cool to me, he's probably not going to get my vote, because I would really rather play the odds and have the best chance of kicking the giant rotting horse testicle that is Donald Trump out of office. So for me, I'll take whatever. I really will at this point. And by whatever, I don't mean circling all the way back to somebody as bad as him, but anybody in the current crop is probably okay. I don't like Gabbard very much. I'd prefer she didn't go all the way, but I don't think she's gonna. I like Warren just fine.
What don't you like about Gabbard?
Is she the one? Maybe I don't want to get her mixed up with anyone else. She's the Hawaii. She's from Hawaii. She's the Hawaiian.
She is indeed the Hawaiian.
Okay, I don't like all her. Let me go on Fox News and act like a ding dong alt-righter while I'm running as a Democrat.
Wait, how is she acting like a ding dong alt-right?
Anytime anybody goes on Tucker Carlson, I check out. It's like, I can't deal with whoever you are. If you're on Tucker Carlson,
your voting is based on Tucker Carlson's booking on Fox News.
One tiny little aspect of it, yes. If somebody books themselves on Tucker Carlson to defend themselves or to whatever it is, you're going to get way less of my attention than if you didn't. Because you're basically, it's like me taking you seriously. It's like me taking your marriage or your divorce seriously because you aired it out on the Jerry Springer show. I can't take it seriously. It just sends me into like, all right, well, see ya. I can't do it.
That is fascinating because I don't imagine that you watch Tucker Carlson.
I have before. I can't stand him. I don't make a habit out of it.
Can't stand him so much that you watch his show.
No, I'd seen it before. What I'm saying is I'm basing my dislike of it on having seen it. So I didn't just not like it because I saw a clip on YouTube or something. I really dislike what he does. And every time I hear about him, I have to kind of just ignore it. I cannot stand hearing about anything Tucker does. And so I think he's an absolute douche, and he does damage, real damage, to people who tune into that show. So
it is amazing.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one, but he's one of them.
It's kind of like the Doctor, like from Doctor Who, that whoever regenerates into that time slot on Fox News just inherits all of the animosity of the last person that was in that time slot.
Yeah, I didn't like We'll Do It Live either. What's his name?
O'Reilly,
8 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah. And I really dislike Glenn Beck, who also I think either had that time or a similar time slot.
he was in the afternoon. He was at 5
was he?
o'clock, but
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's the same diff.
That whole thing. You go ahead and lump Lou Dobbs in there. They and it's not just Fox News people, but I cannot stand what they do for a living. It makes me sick and gross out, and I hate it. So, yes, I don't like her partially because, well, mostly because, maybe entirely because she went on Tucker Carlson. Boom. Boom. Dropping the hot truth bomb.
I mean, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to make a decision.
I mean, look, there are people right now mad at me who will probably email and say I'm quitting the show because
I mean, that's fine. And look, if they like, the only thing stupider than you saying that you wouldn't consider somebody for president because they appeared on the Fox News channel is the person emailing you saying they're not listening to the show because you won't vote for somebody because you watch them on the Fox News channel.
I agree. And by the way,
trust me, there is no honor in taking a moral stance on top of whatever this moral stance is.
But trust me, even though Shepard Smith's gone, any other of their like news-based shows, I'm fine with that. That's fine. Whatever. Like, go on Chris Wallace. Go on, who's that other guy? I forgot the other news-focused dude. Anyway.
Brett Baer.
He's cool. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
Like, fine. That's fine. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity are columnists, effectively. They are 5-day-a-week columnists in which they fill out their hour of programming by giving hot takes and opinions and interviewing people that they can either comically disagree with or agree with enough to reinforce the confirmation bias of the people that are tuning in. It's why they are able to sell so many My Pillows.
Mm-hmm.
But Tulsi Gabbard goes on Tucker Carlson because she can't get airtime other places. Tucker Carlson books Tulsi Gabbard because, like Bernie Sanders, she is willing to criticize the Democratic Party. She is also very strident, and so for the conservative audience that likes Tucker Carlson, they enjoy somebody from inside the Democratic Party criticizing the Democratic Party. And for Tulsi Gabbard, if that's the largest audience she can get booked in front of, and there is an element of her anti-war message that resonates with people, then I don't know how you can blame her for doing it. Like, her job is to get elected president. To get elected president, you have to be known by people. And if that's the place where she can reliably get in front of the most amount of people, I don't know if it's necessarily a moral tragedy that she goes.
No, I don't either. I just hate his show and hate him and don't like people who go on there. So,
I mean, I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it's like, I get your point. For all practicality reasons, it makes perfect sense why she would go on there. I totally get it. But
by the way, do you know that the MyPillow CEO was a crack addict and he was so addicted to crack that his crack dealer told all the other crack dealers in his town to not sell him crack, and then he went to go try to buy crack with a fake or with a hoodie over his head, and he couldn't buy crack from the other crack dealers.
Is this true?
And then his crack dealer was in his house, and he took a picture of him strung out on crack to say, hey, look, this is going to be the last time that you ever look like this. Did you know that about the MyPillow guy?
Is this true at all?
That's the guy the big cardboard cutout dude that you see everywhere, right? The MyPillow cardboard.
Yeah, no, look that up. That's all real. That's not a joke. Like, that's an actual That's an actual thing.
I don't know what to make of that at all that you just said. That's crazy. I am going to look that up.
I don't know, but I am addicted to my MyPillow. I love it so much.
What is a MyPillow? I don't even know what that is. What is it?
It's like the Casper of pillows.
And do they put them? It's not like it's not like a flight pillow. It's like a regular pillow.
No. It's like a memory foam thing. But the dude is very front and center in all of his own marketing. He did a big infomercial that was like part of the reason why his brand launched. He is very open about his addiction to and recovery from crack cocaine, and he is a gigantic Trump backer to the point where he was like, he got the coveted seat right next to Donald Trump during some like business summit.
I'm shocked by this. I can't believe that a guy with that sketchy of a past, but figured out how to make money on a pillow. I cannot believe that he's buddies with Trump. What a wacky world we live in. Shocking. So, all right, let me ask you this.
To just do what South Dakota did, and the new MyPillow slogan should be "Crack, I'm on it."
Yeah.
There you go. Nice callback, by the way. That's pretty good.
Thanks.
All right, so let me ask you this final little question here, and I forgot what it was. Crap, what was it? It was about this very thing. We were just talking about it before.
Crack?
Oh, did you see the interview? The interview with Papa John, where he says he ate 40 pizzas in the last 30 days. All I could think of was you. You're the only person I thought of when I heard that, and I went, "Oh, Justin's gonna like tear this apart and like play clips of it and go nuts with it."
I mean, I don't know exactly how much it fits into politics, but it certainly is something that I found enjoyable. Whenever anybody can brag about the amount of pizza consumption in a certain period of time and say it in a menacing tone, meant to strike fear in the hearts of his enemies. Look, there's obviously something going on with Papa John. That dude is. That dude's got some problems.
Yeah.
He obviously has gotten kicked out of his own company. He's got some issues with race.
Mm-hmm.
And just do yourself a favor, if you have not yet or recently, just Googled Papa John drunk. The internet littered with pictures, specifically of Louisville college students taking their selfies with just a annihilated Papa John.
Wow.
Like, that dude likes to get it on when he is watching Louisville basketball and football games.
That sounds about right. This interview is great, though, because it starts with him. Well, the clip I saw starts with him saying, "Look, I had 40 pizzas in the last 30 days." And the idea was he was trying to talk about how he said 8, not just had 8. So it was confirmation that he says that he's eaten 40 pizzas in 30 days. And it was his way of saying the guy that took over Papa John's is a fraud and a whatever and is the worst CEO of ever, and he doesn't understand pizzas at all. And the guy says, "Well, what is he doing? What's the problem?" He says, "Oh, you wait and see. Stay tuned," he says, and then laughs and then nods his head.
That's the funny thing, is that then the TV reporter says, "Why not break it now?" Which the tone of that dude's voice, I might be wrong, but this is my gut instinct, is that Papa John promised that dude that he would tell the story. And so that's why they came down. That's why they lit the set. That's why they started asking him questions. And then he hits him with the "stay tuned." And just the indignancy on that reporter's voice, where he's just like, "Why don't you say it now?"
Yeah, like we agreed. Tuned. Yeah, like we agreed via email 3 days ago. Say it now. Anyway,
exactly.
It's a riot.
He's like, "I will, but I really have to take a poop because I've been eating so much pizza lately."
It was one of my
Stay
favorite
tuned
things.
after this deuce.
Best thing of this week, that thing. All right.
Papa's big treat.
Now, here's what I'm looking forward to. Next week when we have Justin on, we'll have a little extra something for you. That is to say a cool preview / trailer for his hot new podcast series, which is going to be big. We're really excited about it. Is there anything else you want to say about it today?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So it's called Raise the Dead. It is a history podcast that tracks the 1960 election of Richard Nixon versus John F. Kennedy, which you might say is, "Oh my God, those two ran against each other," or "Oh my God, all I really know about that election is the fact that it was the first televised debate." What I can tell you is what you don't know about that election would have made the election of Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton far more understandable. You are going to learn of a lot of different parallels between those two races, and you're going to learn a lot about both Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy. And right now, you can listen to a preview of the first episode on the Politics podcast. So go over there right now. I just put it up this morning. So far, the feedback has been awesome, which I'm very, very happy to hear. But go check it out. You can listen to the first episode there right now. We're going to have the trailer on TMS next week, and the feed launches next week. But you guys know how we roll here. We're going to all need to subscribe to this new feed on Tuesday next week. Because
the system.
The only way, look, I mean, all right, let's be honest here. Any podcast like this that launches, they launch on a big network. How did Serial? Did Serial start from just randomly some lady decided that she was gonna go do this thing? No, it launched out of This American Life. It had a gigantic platform to start with. I believe that what we do here on Frog Pants, what we do here on Diamond Club, what we do here on all the other shows that we're affiliated with is just as good as anything else. And I made this show as a tribute to show that you guys, that we can create content at the level of these other big networks. But here's what those other networks have: old growth audiences that have been around forever, that they can get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of their total audience, and it can go to #1 on iTunes. If we all bound together, we can do it, but we all have to do it at the same time on
Tuesday,
next Tuesday.
Yeah. We're going to play that whole trailer here. We're going to do all we can to make it happen. And then somewhere off in the distance, if you listen close enough, you'll hear this. Whoops. Hold on. It didn't work. Oh, man, that's too bad. Hold on. My file quit working. Hold on. That's a bummer. All right, we're going to fix that because this is too good. And Scott's going to what does Jenny say? Do the bit, stick to the bit, live by the bit.
Commit
to the bit. All right, here it is.
Oh, by the way, G. says everyone who heard the debate said Nixon won. Everybody who saw the debate said Kennedy won. Not only is that not true, but I will prove it without a shadow of a doubt that is one of the most apocryphal things said about that debate.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, not only is that untrue, but I will, over the next course of the next 6 episodes, I will prove it.
I love it. All right, wait. So now after we do this Tuesday, after we all get in there, subscribe, in the distance, you'll hear this.
I don't know if I want to call it a labor of love after this year.
Oh, Todd Cochran. What are you going to do? Boy, it probably wasn't worth it. All right. Hey, well done. That's great, and I can't wait for it. Very excited. I will have listened to the entire series before then, so y'all are suckers.
All right. Who wants to think that's it? That's not.
You don't think it's going to happen? I do. It's going to happen.
You haven't listened to any of it yet. You've had it for weeks.
I know. I know. Now's the time. It's still sitting in my inbox going, hey, Scott, ready to go. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. I mean, the alternative.
I can send you newer versions, and I can send you the final episode.
Oh, you should do that then. But I could come on here and go, oh, yeah, I heard the first episode. And you know what Justin would do? He'd go, oh, really? What happens in it? Or you'd say, what'd you think about that part with the hat and the beard? And I'd go, oh, that part? Oh, I really like that part. And you'd say, there was no part with a beard.
I would not do that. I am so emotionally fragile about this project that I would, if anybody says anything nice, I'm just like, thank you.
Well,
I am not my normal combative persona when it comes to getting this out here. I've worked too long on this thing to do anything but just meekly bow.
Well, it's clear to me that you've thrown your guts into it, so we're happy to be that morning sounding board for this thing. So let's see how we do. I'm very excited. Justin Robert Young, you can find him at Justin R. Young on Twitter. DiamondClub.tv. What else? Anything else you want to say? That's it. Yeah.
Go get the first episode. Listen to the first episode of Raise the Dead on the Politics feed. So wherever you get podcast, just search for Politics. Yeah, you might as well subscribe there while you're there and listen to that episode.
Nice.
The jury will now retire.
We'll talk to you later. All right. There you go. I mean, we're not opposed to pimping each other.
Of course not.
Not the word pimp. I'm trying to stop using word pimp. What's a better term than pimp? Can you give me one?
I think, you know what? Pimps took the word. We're taking it back.
Are we taking it back? Because did
We're
they
taking
take
it
it?
back.
I didn't know they took it.
No,
I thought,
no,
okay.
that's what they've always been called. Promote. I mean, it's promote is the plug.
Plug? Oh, plug's all right.
Yeah.
Plug your
Plug.
thing.
Got anything to plug?
How about this pimp line here?
A pimp's love is very different from that of a square.
Collins.
Oh, I don't remember where that was from, but there's something about a pimp.
I don't know what I like. Collins.
Quiet down, you. All right.
Get reprimanded.
That's your show. Thank you for joining us. Patreon.com/TMS is where we need your help. We really do. Patreon.com/TMS. I said yesterday I was going to have a website up for this week's tomfoolery regarding our big long stream. It has a name now and a logo even. Brian put one together and it's super rad. It's called The Morning Stream Presents Jack Friday because of all the Jackbox
Jack
stuff.
Friday, because it's not Black Friday, it's Jack Friday.
Jack Friday.
No euphemism whatsoever implied. Just like the morning
it sounds
stream.
like a detective agency, doesn't it? Jack Friday.
Jack Friday. That's right. I carry a badge.
Yep, that's right. Anyway, we're going to be there. We're going to have guests. We're going to have prizes, live streaming, lots of Jackbox games. November 29th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We keep saying 8, but it's 9. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. We're going to raise money for Heart Crate and for kids in the foster system.
Because I gotta go. Get my weigh in that morning. Got to go see how I'm doing.
Yep, that's
after
absolutely true.
Thanksgiving and after a day of going to friggin' Maggiano's Italian.
Oh, how was that? Was it good?
Oh, it was delicious. But
what'd you get? Something big pasta.
I
thing?
did salad, and then I did an order of ravioli with marinara because Alfredo is the devil.
Yeah.
It's delicious, but it's the devil.
It'll kill you. So good. Yep. Good job. Good. You even. I mean, you did a moderate thing. Nicely done.
Yes, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
And
that's what we.
And
say.
then I haven't even talked about what I've been doing for my workouts on the recumbent bike, because I was doing the VR thing and watching Netflix or doing the roller coaster race game thing. There is now a thing called VZ Fit, VZFIT, that works with Oculus Go and Quest.
Okay.
You have a little clip that you put on your pedals, and as you're pedaling, it's like you're driving a tank and shooting other tanks. And
wow,
this thing is freaking amazing. It is like completely gotten me so pumped in the mornings to go do my recumbent bike workout.
I'm into it. I want to see this. I want to use
really
that.
Cool. Yeah, VZ Fit. I think it's what is it? It's VIR Zoom is the website. So VIRZOOM.com is the virtual reality. Yeah, they've got the bike thing. It works with Google Maps, so like you can ride your bike along the Colorado River or down down Las Vegas Boulevard or whatever. It was really cool.
Yeah, it seems awesome. I want to get more into those things. I also yesterday they or day before anyway, the Oculus Quest got the update that lets it tether to your PC if you want to use it as a Rift, so you can. So it's still its little wireless thing and does all the stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want, you can just take a USB-C connector or cable. Although apparently you got to get the right cable because it needs to be the right. Not only right, it needs to be both data and power, but it also has to be some third thing. I forget.
Okay.
But anyway, they're out there. They're kind of sold out right now. But anyway, you get that cable, and then suddenly now it's just like a desktop Rift, and you can run all your big fancy expensive PC VR experiences as well as your little portable Quest ones. It's the best value in VR, Brian.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Anyway, more on that as I fiddle around with it.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if one of the places gets the Oculus Quest discounted for Black Friday.
Like Kinja deals or something like that. That'd be cool.
Exactly. So I'm going to keep an eye out for it. But
nice.
I'm not buying it full price. I'm waiting, buy it discounted. I'm fine with the Oculus Go is fine for right now for what I want. I just really want to play some of those. Like I want to play the Star Wars game. Which you can't do on the.
Yeah. You got a war, you got stars, you want to play it, sure. Got Vader, whatnot.
Exactly.
So anyway, sorry, heartcrate.org, frogpants.tv, those are the links you want to keep track of. I'll have something up on the site today, and I'll put it out on Twitter that just has like references to all the same information I just gave you.
Logo thing.
Yeah, which turned out really good. It looks a little like you in that box.
I know it kind of does, but it's it's their logo, so I just stole it.
Yep, just ripped it right off. Sure, I like it. Anyway, more on that soon. That's going to do it for us. Let's get out of here with a song. Do you have one?
I do. And Talia in the chat room, later this week I'll be doing your request. I've been waiting for a disc to come in that actually has a cover of the song you requested. So stand by for that. The other covers I have of that are garbage, and I want to play a good version of it for you. But in the meantime, Louis McKnight wrote in, said, "Hi guys, love the show, and listening to it helps me get through night shift. You both have great synergy, and I especially like the handsome one." Oh, thanks, man. Anyways, I enjoy the odd cover. And one of my favorite groups for finding good covers is the Polyphonic Spree. I love their mad energy. Makes me think what the Manson family could have been.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I hate comparing them to the Manson family because they're such a positive influence. Did I ever, hate to Randy Jordan this, but I ever tell you about the time that I interviewed Tim DeLauder, lead singer of the Polyphonic Spree? He came to town. They were putting out an EP of covers.
Yeah.
And we'd been talking about doing an interview. And so we're at the what was it called back then? It basically is a little stadium they put outside of Elitch Gardens. And it was getting loud because they were doing a sound check. Modest Yahoo was opening for them, and they were doing a sound check, and it was loud. So he's like, "Oh, why don't you just come back to the tour bus and we'll do the interview there?" I'm like, "Oh, cool." Now the tour bus, Polyphonic Spree, is a 23-person band.
Jeez.
So their tour bus is massive. And Tina and I are sitting there. She came with me. We're watching some of the people from the band kind of rehearse their dance moves and stuff next to the van.
Yeah.
It was just or the bus. It's so cool.
That
Anyway,
is cool. Jeez.
Polyphonic Spree, they're awesome. And it was really, really cool. Louis says it's his birthday at the start of December. He'd be stoked if we could play one of their songs. DJ's choice. Much kindness, Louis.
Nice.
Yes, Louis. Happy to play this. And the aforementioned cover EP that they came out with back in 2016, 2017, no, earlier than that, 2014 or 15, is called Wait. And on there, they cover folks like the Psychedelic Furs. I'm trying to remember who else is on there besides the one I'm about to play. They cover Nirvana's Lithium, which is by far my favorite cover of Nirvana's song Lithium that I've ever heard. I love this version because it explodes when it needs to explode. From the EP Wait, here are the Polyphonic Spree and their cover of Lithium.
I've moved Catwoman.
Sorry, that was in honor of your did I ever tell you about the time?
Did I ever tell you about the time?
Yeah.
True story.
Just had to throw that in there. All right, that's it, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the show. We'll have recommendals, Tom, all that stuff. So please come back for that. Again, a reminder, no show on Thanksgiving. We take that very seriously, that holiday here in the States.
That's right.
But on Friday, the big deal. So we'll have more details tomorrow leading up to it. And, of course, a link later today. So watch for that. Enjoy this song. And we'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Yeah.
What was that?
It's Bo making he was trying to, we were going through a sewer in There Will Be Dungeons, and he wanted to make it seem like there were things falling everywhere, and that's the sound.
That's the sound of things falling everywhere. Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, if you haven't heard that Lithium cover, by the way, Scott, after the show.